Welcome back to Houston Life. Our next guest found fame in Hollywood on shows like ABC's How to Get Away with Murder and HBO's Insecure. Just two of the long list of projects.
Those are pretty big.
And Insecure is where he plays the infamous role of Nathan.
And he is back home in Houston to receive an honor by the Edison Arts Foundation for his work as an actor and an activist. Kendrick Sampson, welcome home.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
We always love to ask actors who are in Hollywood and Los Angeles, have such a big career. What is it that when you come home is a must do for you?
Oh, well, I mean, I have to see my family. I mean, but I'm, as much as people would say, like, I might have a big career in comparison to, I still am, you know, working, you know? So, and they're looking at me like, hey, my mom is always like, you know, you can always go back to school. Like, she's whatever,
she's still pushing school on you.
Mama.
Yeah.
She's mama. So, you know, that's my mama. That was actually at U of H. I got to speak at U of H, and my mom got to sit front and center. So that was a really special moment because she graduated from U of H. Yeah, so.
That is fantastic.
Yeah.
And a homecoming, when you've been able to thrive in your career and come back home, I know that's got to feel good. Today upstairs, we were actually watching the old Church's Chicken commercial. Oh, I know you've been asked about this before. I'm sorry to bring it up. But the fact that you can find it online, by the way, in case you're curious, you did a very good job in that commercial. You did a great job.
Yeah, no, I worked really hard on that character.
When things started clicking for you in Hollywood and you started booking these great roles on really big shows, I mean, that must have been a pinch me moment because a lot of people go to Hollywood and it doesn't work out that way. I
mean, the Church's Chicken commercial was a pinch me moment. I mean, it came on during like Oprah or something and everybody was like, Chicken Boy! Like, they were going crazy. I mean, that was I used to feel great about that because I made money off of something that I wanted to do while I was in high school, you know, so now even still, it's kind of a surreal anything that I get, even being here right now, you know, with clothes that people have given me and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, people give me, I might sell this later, you know. I gotta survive, okay? I gotta make my money.
Yes.
No.
Well, speaking of shows, I mean, HBO's Insecure, we talk about going from a Church's commercial to a show like this.
Yeah.
What does that feel like when you watch it back? You have so many fans that are huge fans of your character, right? What does that feel like to be a part of something so big?
I mean, I barely, it's hard for me to watch myself, so I don't necessarily go back. But what I do, I run into people at the airport, on the street, and all the time that have been impacted by the character, the portrayal of a character with bipolar disorder, and which, you know, my brother has, and I've had a lot of mental health issues, so it was a great platform to be able to expand on something I'm super passionate about and talk about building infrastructure for mental health care and what that looks like specifically for Black people on such a iconic, like, Black cultural show. And then, like, it really inspired me to come back to Houston because Issa Rae, you know, got to tell this beautiful story that, you know, painted a different picture of South LA. South LA and Inglewood is very much like, you know, depicted in very criminalized ways and you know, a lot of foolishness, you know, mischaracterizations. And she got to pour love into that community and employ people in that community and, you know, bring jobs, employ formerly incarcerated people, paint different narratives of the people that she loves and the community that she loves, and that inspired me to do the same thing here. You know, like now I want to tell all types of stories and hire folks. That's always been my dream since I left Houston. So it's beautiful to come back and talk to, you know, and in collaboration with the Edison Arts Gala, and now they're honoring the work. We got our organization Build Power, got Build Power Day, which is February 21st. In Houston by the mayor, Sylvester Turner, and Tarsha Jackson, Councilwoman Tarsha Jackson. So we're here to bridge that, you know, that gap that between Hollywood and Houston, and they're honoring that work. So it's like a full circle moment.
It's incredible, the type of work you do and your commitment to bettering the community. We're seeing some images right now. These are renderings of a new Arts Foundation complex that is being built right now. And tomorrow, you mentioned this, you're getting an honor from the Edison Arts Foundation at the TUTUS and TUXES Gala that will help raise money to realize this dream of building this center. Talk about this work and why this foundation is so critical to our community.
There's a lot, I mean, if you look at what's going on right now, I mean, in Texas, you have an attack on critical race theory, CRT, and Black stories specifically, and then you have writers' strike going on in LA, and people's jobs are suffering, you know, and especially the people when a union strikes or whatever, or there's an economic downturn, Black people are the hardest hit, usually, and so disproportionately so. And so we're looking at the writers and Black stories that have just now gotten some of the due that they deserve because of the uprisings in 2020, and now those commitments are coming back, are waning. People are pulling back on those commitments. And our organization did a lot of work to highlight and push for those rights and those stories to be told and honored. And now you can see the attack on CRT. You can see the threat against Black stories in Hollywood as well. And I've always been passionate about bringing high quality storytelling to my community, right? Because we shouldn't have to uproot ourselves and go all the way to LA like I did. It sounds glamorous, but it ain't. It's very stressful and very expensive. You know, they was trying to pay me the same thing. I was working at the Galleria. They were trying to pay me the same thing in LA. It's not the same.
Hold on. You worked at the Galleria.
I worked at the Galleria.
So did Derek Shore.
High school. I worked at Armani Exchange at the Galleria.
Oh, wow. We were just down the road from you because Houston Life started in the Galleria.
No way.
It's hard to believe, but it happens. We maybe overlap. I'm glad you're chatting about your work as an activist, because this is something a lot of people who have never taken part in a protest, who have never been out on the streets and saying, hey, we have voices, we need to be heard. Sometimes you hear people say, and I hate to call anyone ignorant, but if you've never been part of a protest, maybe you haven't had laws written against you. Maybe your well-being has not been threatened because you're part of the majority. But that doesn't mean there aren't problems out there. And I think it's great that you're using your voice to raise awareness. And awareness seems like it's the first step of any battle.
Absolutely. And you know, people don't realize, but the narratives that we tell about a community is directly linked to the health of that community. If you keep telling negative or lies or falsehoods about a community, negative narratives about a community, that community suffers by the way that people treat that community, by the resources that are given to that community, the repercussions of the lies that are told on that community. And the Black folks in this country have been lies have been told over and over and over again. The narrative has been misconstrued and painted this ugly picture of who we are, and we know who we are, and we deserve to tell those stories, and we shouldn't leave that up to or have people take that right away from us, right? And decide to hoard all the resources and tell the stories for us that ultimately are going to be wrong and unhealthy for our community, which paints a very ugly picture for the life of the people that live in that community. So I've always been passionate about creating safe spaces for Black people, Indigenous folks, LGBTQ folks, making sure that they have trans folks that have a safe space to tell their stories, to hone their stories. Since, you know, we talked about, I just got back from Senegal, and somebody there told me that the Jopes, I grew up with this girl, Anna Jope, who's now on Nanny, and she's in DC Comics, she's Starfire. We went to school together, we went to Elkins. She's a Jope, her last name, D-I-O-P. Issa's last name is D-I-O-P, Jope. And I met another one, and they said that they were the original griots, which are, you know, the storytellers in West Africa. They're very, they're honored, they're revered storytellers. And since then, we've been trying to reclaim, since we've been stolen, you know, our ancestors been stolen and abused in this transatlantic slave trade. the griots have been trying to reclaim our story. So it's full circle and incredible that someone like Issa has a platform like this. And it's so important that we reclaim the health. Since they've stolen that narrative, we've gotten unhealthier, more and more and more unhealthy. And now we are starting to reclaim that, right? We're starting to beat that back and say, no, these are our stories, this is the truth, and this is how we're gonna tell it, because we deserve to tell it our way, and a healthy way that makes our communities healthier. So that's what this work is about with Build Power, with the Edison Arts Gala, and the foundation, and building infrastructure that brings high quality storytelling opportunities to the community. So you could be employed by that storytelling machine, you can tell those stories the way that you want them to be told, and increase the creativity and the income of people in your community, right? So that's what we want. We want to make sure that people can have that access.
Well, Kendrick, thank you for spreading the word and telling your stories. Before we go, can I just ask if your teeth are a nod to your character on Vampire Diaries? Is that just a little nod to the vampire story?
Actually, I will say I have had some version of a fang. I used to read Dracula and all types of vampire stories when I love supernatural everything. So I've had some sort of gold in my mouth as a fang since I was probably in middle school.
I love it. Give our viewers a big old smile. You better show them because it looks good.
It looks good. Kendrick Sampson, thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for your work in the community.
We
do appreciate it. And the TUTUS and TUXES Gala will be held tomorrow at 7 p.m. at the future site of the Edison Cultural Arts Center. For tickets, to donate, or to find more information about the Edison Arts Foundation, you can visit our website, HoustonLife.tv. Just look for that scene on Houston Life section.